Harrison, first off, just I expected maybe the beard to look a little bit different. Does it feel, how's it feel, how's that going with the whole playoff beard and going through quarantine?
First of all, Sean, you're doing a lot with that background right now.
Oh, I know.
But nah, the beard is good. I think it's plateaued a little bit. So that's been nice from a management perspective. But I think I'm excited to hopefully, shave it off when we make the playoffs and keep going from there.
How did you guys kind of take not only coming into the gym, but then right as you had the individual workouts, and then right as at the time you guys are being tested and getting ready for Orlando, how did you guys kind of take the news of having some teammates unfortunately infected with this virus?
It was tough. I mean, Buddy, Alex, Jabari, those guys were working. We've been in touch with them for a while, so to not have them here, to not be able to see them with everybody else has been difficult. But at the same time, we're glad that they're all feeling good. None of them are really showing symptoms. Hopefully, get them back as quick as possible, and have them meet up with us here in Orlando.
And then just finally, just the confidence you have individually going into Orlando, and then also that confidence of from a competition standpoint, you guys were playing really, really well before this thing got kind of shut down. How hard will that be to pick up that success and replicate it with these 8 remaining games, at least in the regular season?
I think everyone's hungry and ready to play. After such a long break, guys are excited about the opportunity to finish our season. We felt like we were finally hitting our stride. We got a lot of guys who are healthy, have a chip on their shoulder. So, we're ready to go.
James Hill.
What's going on, Harrison?
What's going on, man?
Hey, how are you? Hey, I know we spoke a couple of months ago and you hadn't picked up a basketball in a while and you hadn't shot a basket since the season shut down. How has this been to ramp up and sort of reset and also to take that break and kind of get mentally away from the game after, having all your summers tied up with Team USA and all the other things that you do?
It was good. Coming back, into the gym, it was definitely a step up in terms of just intensity, rhythm. There's only so much you can do, at the house. And then, now the next step would be once we get to Orlando, playing 5-on-5, getting team chemistry back, figuring out, what's going to work for us and what's not. So I feel good about where I'm at now. Body-wise, feel healthy. Joints feel great. Then now just taking the next step to try to find some rhythm.
When you look at the long stretch that you're going to be away, how difficult is that? I mean, you look around, some of your teammates have babies on the way. They've got little ones that they're going to have to leave behind. Just how difficult do you think this is going to be for everybody to be in the bubble?
I mean, there's no way around the fact that, this is a sacrifice. Whether, you're getting away from your family, whether you're not going to be able to see, your parents, siblings, whatever it may be. And, not having that end date too definitely adds an extra bit of focus to you that, if you're going to be away from your family for this long, you want to make it worth it. You want to make it something that you're completely locked in and focused on and you're giving your all to, or else it's a waste of time.
Yeah, Kent said that he thought that the team that came out that was the most prepared and the most focused was going to be the one that came out on top. Is that sort of what you're feeling, that you guys can come in and be the team that hits the ground running and, starts punching people, that you guys could be that team?
Yeah, I mean, I believe we can. Like I said, guys are healthy, guys feel good. You can just tell by the energy that's in the gym. So, I'm hoping that when we get to Orlando and we start practicing, we can just hit the ground running.
Jason Jones.
Hey, what's going on, Harrison?
What's going on, man?
Not much. We talked about some of the stuff you were already doing off the court and how the NBA and the Players Association are working together to kind of keep the social justice message in the forefront. Just how involved or have you been in those talks, and what's your take on the league and the players coming to some agreements on how to keep that message going forward even while the games are being played?
Well, I think, we're at a unique time just in society where so many different discussions are happening at once. And changes, it seems, closer now than it's ever been, although, it's still a wide gap, but the conversation around Black Lives Matter, the conversation around the treatment of police in Black and brown communities, the conversations around wealth inequality, all those types of things are hot. And I think that the awareness for the NBA to understand that basketball is important, but it needs to take a backseat to that in this moment was smart. And I think keeping those conversations going while we're in Orlando, keeping the focus on those people who are doing the work, keeping that focus on all those people, one, who've lost their lives, but two, whose lives have been affected by these injustices is extremely important. So as citizens, it's our civic duty to promote things like voting and other things like that in our community, but it's also important to, uplift the voices that don't have the same platform that we have.
And are you going to do anything with your jersey on the back? Have you given much thought to that yet?
Yeah, I'm just waiting on the requirements, man. I mean, do we get 8 different ones? Do we get one? How many words? What's the word count? What's the censorship? I mean, I'm definitely going to do something. I'm just waiting on the official guidelines for what we can do.
And I know you mentioned the voting, and you're part of the program. We talked about that a couple of months ago. With this setup, will that allow you to still be actively involved in, discussions with the other organizations as far as voting that you work with? How will you still manage all that from Orlando?
I think a lot of guys in the league are aware that want to do things in their own community. So I think it's an opportunity for all of us to, one, be in one location talking about it, but two, continuing to engage other groups, continuing to learn how we can be effective, what's the best way we can use our voices, and how we can assist people on the ground who are going out and doing those grassroots campaigns to really spread that message.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Antonio Harvey.
Hey, Harrison, how you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
Right. The NFL just announced that they were going to start playing the Negro National Anthem before games, which not only I don't think that's significant, I think it's remarkable. What is your thoughts on that? And would that be something that, the NBA should explore?
I mean, I think it's a nice gesture, but I think there's also a lot of other things that can be done to push the envelope further. I think everyone has gotten to a point now where, they can say the words Black Lives Matter, and we can do posts and things like that. But I think it's to take that next step of how can we ensure that we're putting not only our words but our resources behind those actions.
What was your first thought when you heard that, though, coming from the NFL? It just come out it just came out the blue, so it kind of blew me away.
I mean, I think there's still a lot of work to be done. I think the players in the NFL can speak for that. Obviously, Colin Kaepernick still does not have a job, so I think there's a lot of things that can go down that route in terms of where they're at and what they can be doing moving forward.
On another note, Marvin spoke to us yesterday, and obviously he has some physical change, so he's been working on his anatomy. Is there any other players that you have seen that has made some physical changes that have bulked up, within the last 3 months?
Man, Nemanja Bjelica, I mean, he's been putting in great work, on his body. HG's bulked up, Rashawn's bulked up. Corey's in great shape right now. A lot of guys are really, taking this time to transform their bodies and really make sure they're in great shape.
Thank you.
Jason Anderson.
HP, how are you?
Good. How you doing, man?
Good, man. Good to see you. When you look at the format the NBA decided on here with, all things considered, the 3-way tie for 9th, the Grizzlies in 8th, their schedule was just really difficult upcoming, still is. But all things considered, do you think they got it right, or do you think that, you know, that maybe they still left you guys in a tougher position than maybe you would have been if the whole season had played out?
I mean, at the end of the day, you know, we have an opportunity to go out there and play. I think that's, as a player, that's what you want. You want the ability to compete. You want enough games to be able to showcase, you know, what we could do. It'd be different if they said, look, you know, we're just gonna flip a coin, and we're gonna leave it to a machine to determine, you know, what the playoff structure is gonna be. But I think this gives us the opportunity to show what we have, and, you know, if we get in, we deserve to get in. If we don't, we miss the opportunity.
And also, you know, in your role with the Players Association, what were some of the biggest things you personally advocated for, whether it was something league wide or maybe, you know, interests pertaining to Sacramento and the Kings specifically? Did you kind of have your own sort of agenda or things you wanted to get across in those talks?
No, I think the biggest thing, just with talking with guys and talking with the union, is just trying to find consensus. You know, what's in the best interest of all the players. And I know sometimes, you know, I can think one way, and that might not necessarily be what's best for, you know, all 450 players. But, you know, I think they do a good job of trying to do what's best for the consensus.
Thanks, man.
Matt George.
Harrison, it's great to see you. Great to talk to you.
You see, man.
Kent Bazemore a little bit earlier talked about, even though this environment is a bit chaotic and obviously very new, he thinks it's an environment that this team is prepared to thrive in. Do you agree with that? And what is it about this kind of chaotic environment that you think your team can handle well?
I think it'll be good for us just because that focus element is there. I mean, we're there for one reason only, you know, to play basketball, and we're going to use our time effectively, you know, off the court, like I said earlier, to promote, you know, social justice. But the biggest thing I think for us is that we'll just be able to lock in, starting from India this year, and the whole beginning half of the season. You know, our team was so up and down with injuries and things that were going on. So, you know, we're hoping that this time together really help us.
And then a couple of days ago, we asked both Coach Walton and De'Aaron Fox about the perceived disrespect from the national media, not really, or kind of writing the Kings off to actually make that 8th seed. Where Walton was kind of on the side of it doesn't really bother us. Fox mentioned it, talked about it on social media, says it's fueling his fire a little bit. Where are you in that kind of scale?
I mean, I don't pay too much attention to it. At the end of the day, we have 8 games to prove our worth. And at that point, we let the chips fall where they may.
I'll go last one, Sean Cunningham.
Yeah, Harrison, I forgot to ask earlier. I wanted to ask about what the honor was like to see your high school gym named in your honor back in Ames, and just even the contributions you made to Ames area schools during this pandemic. What kind of the motivation was there?
Oh, I mean, you know, growing up in Ames, you know, I was too much to that community. So, you know, I was definitely humbled, honored to have them name the gym after me. You know, it really means a lot. You know, they didn't have to do that. So I'm definitely thankful. I always try to give back to Ames, to the state of Iowa, like I said, because they give me so much. So I was really blown away by that.
Cool. Thank you.